it disallows them to keep defaming him as crazy when he talks about his experiences in Hollywood, which every single person has a right to talk about their experiences without being labeled a conspiracy theorist or anti-Semitic.
Hello, guys. David Vose here. Well, it's another beautiful day in paradise, and I hope you're having a wonderful day where you are. Well, I guess Candace Owens has been demonetized. Well, join the club, Candace. And by the way, Candace, I want you to know, which, you know, I'm sure this will never get back to you, but I am so proud of you. I love you with all my heart. And of all the people on YouTube or the media of any form, and out there talking, any of these talking heads, none of them could tie your shoelace. I think of, I don't know, was it 10 or 20 years ago? I don't remember when it was, this Glenn Beck. It was on the Fox News. We're all like, oh, Glenn Beck, maybe he's really telling it straight, right? Oh, he's a really good guy. Well, he's still on there, one of these big talking heads, competing with you, Candace. But I don't trust him. He's always backing some kind of capitalism or, you know, making excuses for these idiots that are harming us. I'm sure he doesn't talk about the poisons as you do that they're poisoning us with. I know Glenn Beck, along with some others, they've been told from the top that they're allowed to say some things and shock us and inform us that we've all been duped, and then do a little tap dance on our grave, I guess, because none of them seem to ever want to hold anybody accountable. Nobody's demanding. I don't see Glenn Beck getting down there with a megaphone and surrounding the Capitol building saying, we're not going to put up with this. And I don't see anybody demonetizing Glenn Beck. Look, I think Glenn Beck's he's a good guy. You know, well, he looks like a good guy. And, you know, and he acts like a good guy. But I don't think he is. He's bolted to some sort of power and fame. I mean, he was just a young guy. He marries this Mormon. Well, I guess he's Mormon. And so, boom, just like Donnie and Marie. Now he's doing a 9 o'clock variety show. And we're all just sitting there watching everybody dance. And, oh, disclosure and aliens. And look, I'm not saying Glenn Beck is probably not a better place to go and watch than ABC, right? You get your ABCs of ignorance and evil over there. That's the same thing that's Disney and Google and all the colorful letters swirling around that, you know, when you cross your eyes, it turns into 666 and Satan comes swirling out of the center and, right, he's telling you that he wants your babies and all of this. Yeah. Disney for children, right? It's probably should be rated R or something. The little cartoons are having sex and, yeah, demons coming out of the woodwork. This is what we've been propagandized with for a long time. But is it some kind of, like we talked about yesterday, an initiation that they're not trying to deceive us because they want us dead, but they're trying to wake us up? I don't know. We might explore that possibility today or more in another video. But Candace, I can't think of anybody. I could think of Alex Jones, but I don't believe in Alex Jones. I'm not a believer. I know he's working for the CIA. He works with Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan. They're all big buddies. And I guarantee it, those little short guys are not for you. They're part of the League of Defamation of whatever you just about to see. That we can't trust to tell us the truth. They're part of these little buttlickers. My brother used to call them buttlickers. Now, at the time, I thought that meant a bootlegger, right? But I didn't know what a bootlegger was either. But, you know, we could talk about the big ones. Who would we say? Well, how about Ye? Kanye. Kanye West. I'm proud of you too, Kanye. And if there was somebody I was proud of, other than Candace, it would be you. And I'll do my best to see if I can think of anybody else. But I know that Alex Jones pretended to bust into the, what do you call them? The Owl Group. Bohemian Grove. And that got him a lot of clout. And he told us about the school, you know, the yellow ribbon around the school back in the day, where he was sued for $1 billion because he said that they put the yellow ribbon up around the school as a big HOAX on all of us. And I did videos at the same time. Of course, I wasn't part of the CIA special mind control program, so they took my channel down at that time for doing it. Now, why would they allow Alex? Well, they didn't. But they had to have some control over what was happening. So they let certain individuals come out and disclose certain things in certain ways. See, they couldn't have put me on trial for the whole world to see night and day and then tried to get $1 billion out of me. Because I ain't got nothing. It's hard to get blood out of a turnip. Although they're so ignorant they think that red stuff coming out of a turnip is blood. So they keep trying. But it wouldn't, you can't just let everybody say these things that everybody's thinking. So what we do is we ban everybody. But we use our own guys to do some controlled opposition. And this is part of the disinformation, the Project Paperclip holding together the files from the great Zionist movement that is the big old conglomerate Bavarian organization that runs all the other ones, that was made in 1776. Whoa, that's an interesting date over there in Bavaria. While at the same time, the good guys were making the Constitution. I guess they had to, like, combat every good thing that ever happened in the world. And Satan had to really get organized and do some deep, deep evil magic on this world. And start taking our children, demanding the, you know, it worked in the old days, right? Give me your children and I'll let you live. Okay, so all the people in the world in the United States were like, oh, please let us live. Here's my baby. Here's my other baby too. We've come to the point now where it's not just our firstborn, but we give all the babies to the Lord. And all we want in return is a religion that makes us feel special. And we're the chosen. You know, you can have these stupid babies while they're evil little wicked fiends. We have no responsibility to keep these little children alive sucking on our little inflated teat. We ain't got no more milk. We're tired of these little brats. You know, send them to hell. And that'll appease the devil, right? He likes little babies anyway. But just make sure we got plenty of whiskey and make cannabis legal. That'll put us to sleep a while. And then we won't even realize what's going on. Well, honestly, remember Joe Rogan? He's been a movie star since time began. Wasn't it Trump that was hosting the HBO boxing matches back in the day, you know, in Atlantic City? And oh boy, he didn't make any money off of that. He had to go bankrupt with that sucker, right? I honestly, what's going on here? But yeah, I don't think I trust Russell Brand any more than, I mean, yeah, I think he's funny. He tells some good things and I think he's a little bit too careful and cautious. He's like, well, maybe there's a war beginning and we're all supposed to be scared. And I'm going to be brave and tell you that World War III is coming and the United States is a piece of shit too. We're all shit and you know that. And therefore I must be telling the truth. And that's the news, and this is Walter Concrete. We'll see you next week. That's it. That's what we like, well, he told the truth, right? Yeah, aliens are coming. And, yep, they're killing the world. And, yep, it ain't fair. And, yep, the dinosaurs were all wiped off the face of the earth by an asteroid about 12 million years ago. And it's due to come again. And maybe there's some bad old conspiracy idiots out there saying that the earth is going to go through some global warming, but maybe there's no globe. No, he had never said that. He doesn't have the, well, recently I have noticed that it seems like in unison, all of these guys have been doing little skits, a little here and there, telling you the truth about the fact that we didn't go to the moon. I mean, that's been put out there as public knowledge now, right? And it's like, there's a whole part of society that's got to play along, like this guy staring at you right there with his glasses. He's like, I'm just an innocent truth teller, and yes, I'm somehow made it to your news channel, and I'm telling you all this truth, and I'm so sincere, and I'm one of the good guys, watch me. Well, how did you get to that position? Why is it that Fox News started, dumping on Trump and being fair and saying, well, we've got to hear from Satan a little bit before we, allow ourselves to only believe what Jesus says. Let's listen to Satan over here. So they went down the tubes and automatically like, dun, 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 Newsmax comes along and they've got all the truth. Yeah, Trump is the savior of the world and by golly, we're going to make Israel great. I mean, America great again. Well, this is why I don't believe in any of them. And you can't, other than Anna's son, who tells truth that is so deep that you would weep to hear it. Yeah, but she only gets a few hundred people watching her. And that's a shame, isn't it? Or Dr. Barbara O'Neill. Now, I might trust a little of what she says, but other than that, and a couple others I probably don't remember, and forgive me if I've left you out, but there really isn't any more than what I could count on one hand on the internet that's telling the truth. And I know a lot of you are watching some of these guys. And they're like, oh, you should go watch this or that archaic or whatever his name is, or somebody that's talking about mud floods or something. And I'll tell you that now you're digging deep, right? Because you're talking about people that are talking about conspiracies that nobody knows, right? Oh, look at this mountain range. Isn't that an ancient dinosaur there? That was not a mountain, that's a dinosaur. And these rocks couldn't possibly have formed by erosion. That's got to be a spine there. And look at that mountain. The Devil's Tower, that's a tree. Well, that's pretty interesting that the only one in the world that looks like a tree, a mountain, is called the Devil's Tower. Woo, well, I don't know. Is that a coincidence? Couldn't it just be the core of a volcano? You know, that lava that's still standing and all the dirt that was around it, the soil, it eroded away and left that core sitting there. I don't know, but that would be too crazy to even think about. How about those redwood trees in Arizona, right? Remember the thing where you'll sell you a bridge in Arizona? Well, now they're saying there were big redwoods, sequoias, in Arizona. And you can go out there and look at them, laying all over the ground. Look at big old redwood trees. They're like, no, I don't even think those are redwood trees. I don't know that trees really petrify in that way. Maybe they do if you put them in a place where there's no air under the ground and the wood would, instead of rotting, turn into rock. I suppose it's possible. But I look at those supposed redwood trees in Arizona laying on the desert floor with no trees or anybody around, right? At 7,000 feet above sea level, with the seashells all over the place. And I think maybe this is a volcanic tubes that were full of volcanic rock that the soil, again, just eroded away. And now we've got these red-looking volcanic stone rocks. But I don't think they're trees. But, you know, anything's possible. But we can't be certain about any of these things. I guarantee the stars aren't hundreds of light years away. And if they were, I don't think they'd be telling us they could see a planet going around with, and they know whether there's water on it or something. I heard the other day they found a planet that's more habitable than Earth somewhere. Really? On what star? Right? The closest star is like light years away. I mean, this is insanity. But nobody seems to have a clue. Not your Joe Rogan, not your Glenn Beck or Tucker Carlson. They don't have any of this real truth. All they know is that they, whoever they are trying to hurt Trump. And that's just not fair. But if we lose, it's, you know, it's fair and square. And by the way, I'm going to show you a clip here in a minute that is very interesting about who it is that's all for Make America Israel Great Again. And who's the one that is taking Candace Owens off the air. It's not the liberals. You know? Shmuley and the gang might not be all liberals. They might just be conservatives. And they might be trying, at least on the face. I mean, yeah, they're all at the Epstein Island drinking margaritas down there in that satanic temple, passing this baby around as they drink the, well, we won't get into any more of that. But, by the way, have you ever noticed that all these pictures that we see, whoever snapped these pictures, where at the Bohemian Grove, you've got the presidents, there's Reagan was there and so forth, and they're all sitting around laughing, drinking, and there's burlesque shows going on, and they're having a human sacrifice, you know, casually, as they're all partying. But have you ever noticed that all of the people there at the Bohemian Grove seem to be either all conservatives, Republicans, or if there were any Democrats there, they were very few of them, and they were more leaning conservative. Because, I mean, you could say that Romney's a conservative or he's a Republican, but he's not really, is he? Or Cheney. Or Bush. And Bush was there. Reagan was there at the Bohemian Grove. Ford was there. And Nixon. And these are all Republicans. Very important, powerful Republicans. Just like when we see the pictures with Epstein. Who was it that was seen? Oh, JFK Jr. Or RFK Jr., I'm sorry. RFK Jr. was on Epstein's plane a couple of times. And we find, I learned this from Whitney Webb. And then you think, oh, maybe Whitney Webb really is a good girl. You know, she's a real person and telling us the stuff that juicy, oh, we like this. But who's doing this? I mean, it's like with the WikiLeaks. That comes out and destroys Hillary Clinton. So is the conspirators, like, I think it was the FBI or the CIA that actually exposed Hillary Clinton, but pretended that they hated Trump. I mean, this is crazy. You can't tell which way's up or down in this world. I really do believe that these individuals are neither left or right, but they follow the Hegelian dialectic, which means that the ones that appear to be the ones that are the good guys are probably the ones that are the bad guys. And the ones that are appearing to be the bad guys might be representing the truth, but in such a salacious way that it makes the truth look like crap. Like liberalism, that's what liberalism is. We all go out and whack our wee-wees. Oh, well, we don't want that, so let's go take this concept of slavery. Huh? Republicans aren't slave owners, they don't believe in that. That was the Democrats, Dave. Yeah, but the Republicans want you to punch a clock and work for the man as a slave. And they don't want to raise the minimum wage. Why, you can live on that, you little worm. You know, why are you complaining? You've got freedom. Freedom. I don't hear them saying anything to the bad guys about, you know, taking away your freedoms. I mean, they talk a lot. Trump even made the Truth Social thing. But I ain't never gone over there. I don't know if they'd probably take stuff down. I know over there on X or Twitter now, they're supposedly keeping things going, like they've got Candace Owens over there. Of course, maybe it's just a drama. Maybe it's a orchestrated event we're having here. And we're supposed to take sides, and we're supposed to have the common sense. You know, it's like, look, it's too scripted. Just think about this. The one side that is evidently or supposedly for deity, for morals. They like law and order. I don't like law and order. Why can't we try love? Why can't we try forgiveness? You say, well, we've got to have law and order, Dave. If you were pulling up at a stop sign with four-way traffic, you got to have some rules. You know what? I don't think so. I'll bet you if you didn't even have stop signs, or if you just let people know that there was an intersection, and I think courteousness would probably lead to less accidents, be honest with you. But, you know, you say, yeah, but you've got, you know, if you don't stop, you'll hurt somebody. You know, got to punish them if you're going to do that. Well, but the thing of it is, more people die. More people are in pain and suffering when you make rules. So now you've got the unfortunate problem of somebody might have ran into somebody. That's a crisis. That's bad. We don't want that. But on top of that, we're going to add, because we're not going to solve that by making laws, but we're going to add some laws, and this way we can make some money off all this crime. Now you got to pay the government. They're the benefactor for doing wrong. And the poor people ain't got that kind of money, so they got to obey the law or they go to jail. But the rich people, they just do it anyway and pay the ticket. So this is not a good way to have righteousness. And I think the Lord Jesus told us that that is not righteousness. But I digress on that. But what I'm saying is that if I were to scour the entire world, I would say there is not one organization or channel, Fox News, CNN, ABC, NBC, any of them, that are not run by the same elite, including Newsmax friends, because they want you to like Trump. This is a battle. They want us to be fighting each other. You're a Trump, I hate that Trump, and you're a guy, I hate that Kamala here. Isn't it crazy that we've got to the point where we're mocking one side? Like, the people that don't like Trump, they mock him, they hate him. Like, they would probably burn your house down if they knew that you wanted to go that route. But on the other side, the conservatives are literally, they have no respect for Hillary. They have absolutely no respect for Kamala Harris. Now, look, I don't know how you could have respect for a whore that sold her body up through the ranks and finally became a presidential candidate. But I'm just making a point. Whoever this person is, I mean, they put her in there anyway. They wanted us to be mocking her. This is the point. They want us to run around going, they want us to hate each other with a passion. Oh, buddy. Why do you think they've never gotten rid of the GUNs? They don't care. They hope there is a civil war. They're, all we got to, yeah, well, I won't even go into that. But, friends, they're planning on this. And, you know, in the end, we're all going to learn something. We're all going to have to learn something. We're going to get to a point where we're going to have to say, we get it now. We're going to tell the truth. And I have to wonder. I love you, Candace, but I want to know. And if anybody gets this video over to you, and you see this, and you're a really good person like I hope and believe you are, because I love you, Candace. I love the fact that you spoke the things that you spoke, and said the things that you said live on Piers Morgan, with that beady little eyed, I won't say anymore, flapping his jaws, and you stood there or sat there calmly and quoted the scripture. And I almost wept. I was so proud of you. But I really have to ask the question, did they raise you and Kanye up to a place where you're millionaires in the public eye, one of the most influential persons on the face of the planet, both of you, in order to make martyrs of you, in order to make it very evident what the truth is, so that people would finally wake up? Maybe they're going to go ahead and dish themselves and say, yeah, we were evil all along. I hope you see that now. And stop us. Please stop us, because you guys got to grow up. Please speak up. Please say the truth. Don't be little wieners and give in to lies and deception just so you can have a little bit of libbies on your table, because you like it, and your porn and your fast cars and luxurious satin sheets and all your indulgences. As long as you have all that, then there's got to be progress. And progress is worth all those little babies and their little lives who didn't know anything anyway, and who's got time for babies. You know, we ain't responsible for all that. We don't want any of that suckling, nurturing, right? That's just beyond us. We'll just go into the new biotechnical age and live forever, with Wile E. Coyote and Iron Man leading the way, and Captain America, dun, 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 you know, and Batman will come up out of his dark bat cave. I don't know what he's doing down there, you know. I guess his brothers are bats, and what do bats do? Suck your blood, and they run the police, right? But that's fine, right? He's a billionaire. He can do what he wants, him and Iron Man. But, you know, as long as we got all that, then we're not going to even pay attention to what's going on, and we don't need the truth. So I would like to know for sure, because I love you, Candace, and if that was done from the heart, you say, well, of course it was, Dave. They took your channel down too, right? Obviously, YouTube don't like her. They took her down. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. I think, obviously, Trump is on one side and is very passionate, and Kamala Harris is nowhere and is very passionate about believing in nothing, and she's just having fun, and hey, man, let's go for the ride. So she's going to fight tooth and nail like a alley cat to stay in that position. I get it. This is all real, right? You have a boxing match, and it could be rigged, but the boxers don't know. They're trying to beat each other and doing the best they can. They didn't know that the other corners got chlorophyll and a little bit of particles of glass finely crushed up in some Vaseline on their gloves. They don't know that they've bought the ref, right? They think it's a real fight. And especially when the old commentator gets involved and starts blow by blow telling you who really won, even though your eyes aren't seeing the same story. But that's how it goes. So maybe we'll all be rooting for Trump. He's just one of the actors. And maybe he believes, maybe they carefully bred and raised Trump in a little bubble environment, gave him all this, you know, money, and made him think he was a powerful entrepreneur and was able to make billions of dollars off of golf courses and boxing matches and television shows saying, you're fired. And you know, he goes out there and he wants to save the country because he's got this big ego and he really wants to do it, Dave. It's in his blood. And we all love him, and he's talking sense, and why don't we just bring back the fracking, right? We could just keep raping and pillaging the earth. Let's take that good position of we should be environmental away from the bad guys and give that to the good guys. Wait a minute, who's the good guys and who's the bad guys? Because the ones who don't believe in deity are all environmentally trying to protect it. Of course, I know it's just a scam to take more of your hard tax dollars. But don't you know that the other side's got one up their sleeve? We've got to have law and order. People are scared. They've got to have police. Well, now the police can, it's like a military, martial law. They're on the corner. They're ambushing you at the end of the corner of the street, making you pay your permits to get a license and demanding that we have a world where we keep working. We need more slaves, even if we don't need to work, and the robots could take care of all the work. We could just get checks and stay home and garden, but no, everybody's got to have a job, right? We've got to have more freedom of religion, so we'll build more Jim Jones mind-boggling experiments on the people, and more military, because there's all these threats. A little Kim Jong-un over there. Look at that little rocket man. I'm a rocket man. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. Oh, Judith Garland. Another one of those Bavarians, but we believed her story. Didn't you? I did. I thought she was a little girl from Kansas that lost her way and the Wicked Witch was trying to kill her. Oh, buddy. And, then she got there in the city of Oz, the ounce of gold. And the little short fat guy behind the curtain, there's no deity. Nobody's pulling the strings, and the witch, she ain't got no power. Well, the witch really did have power. Yeah, the dark witch was really scary. But the real power was with Dorothy. Yeah. All she ever had to do was just click her heels 3 times, you idiots. Y'all living in this stupid world where you're being, threatened by the Wicked Witch of the West. And you're scared, and your dog Toto too. But all you need to understand is that you already got a mind. You already got a heart. And you already got courage. Just tap your heels together 3 times. And these evil people will go away. And you can have your country back. But you fools, you don't even know the meaning of the story. And you'll never do it. And so this is why we can tell you. This is why we can disclose it from a few people on television that we claim are lunatics like Alex Jones. And you won't believe them. And then we'll get Dan Rather saying, now, folks, this is just a conspiracy. And everything is just fine. And just go back to bed. And then we'll believe him, see? So, yeah, they tell you the truth, but you really got to be smart, and you got to have courage, and they've told you that too. When are we going to get the courage? So, Candace, if what you did was true and from your heart, and they're really trying to get rid of you, it seems to me like they would have gotten rid of you weeks before. But, and by the way, what you said on Piers Morgan and the scriptures that you quoted, Candace, thank you. Thank you for the world. Now, here's the thing. If that was a ploy from the elite to let us know down here that if Candace Owens can stand up for the truth and open her eyes and kick her heels together 3 times, then I think maybe all of us could. But will we? Friends, will we? When Jonah went to Nineveh, he didn't want to go. Those filthy sinners, right? He didn't want them to repent. But the Lord said, I want you to go and tell them, I'm going to destroy this place in 40 days. And I'll be darned if they didn't all repent. And you know who those people were in Nineveh? They were the Gentiles. But there's more than Jonah here. Sodom and Gomorrah will stand up in the judgment and condemn you, you wicked hypocrites. The people of the days of Noah, it will be more tolerable for them on the day of judgment than it will be for you. It'd be better for you, you liars, you evil, wicked, deceitful little conniving people. It would be better for you that you just tie a millstone around your neck and go throw yourself into the sea. That'd be better for you than the day of judgment, which, by the way, I think is here, friends. I think the day of judgment is here. And will we judge one another? Because we're the judges. Do you not know you'll judge angels? Yes. Can you not judge one another? Can you not have compassion on each other, your brethren? If you give a cup of water unto one of these little ones, you've given it unto me. And when I return, then you will say, didn't we do many powerful works in your name, Lord? And didn't we prophesy in your name and feed the hungry in your name? And Jesus will say, excuse me, but who are you? I never knew you, you workers of iniquity. You hypocrites. Well, let me show you that little clip that I was going to show you, that I was telling you about. Take a look at this.
Wikipedia editors will no longer use the Anti-Defamation League as a source for entries on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The editors voted to declare the ADL as a, quote, generally unreliable on the conflict, adding it to their list of banned sources. For context, the ADL is a long-standing advocacy group.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like it's Slaughterhouse-5 on YouTube. I don't know what is going on or exactly why people are being demonetized or ripped off of YouTube. But YouTube has been at this, and it's not just Candace Owens who said today, or actually yesterday, she announced that she has been demonetized from her YouTube channel, that she is not going to be able to make any more money. She received 3 strikes right in a row. So her channel had no strikes previously. Suddenly she's getting 3 strikes right in a row. And now she is permanently demonetized from YouTube. Not only that, but she's not even allowed to post for the next week. Then they'll allow her to post. But my understanding is she'll never be able to make money. She has been taken out of the partner program, and she can reapply in 90 days to potentially see if they'll reconsider monetizing her channel, which is that never happens. I don't know of anybody who's ever received their monetization back after 90 days. So she has been fully demonetized from YouTube. 3 strikes in a row. Not sure exactly. It seemed like it was the Kanye West interview that she did. She did end up posting that onto Twitter today, so you can watch that interview. But apparently that is what got her the strike. But 3 strikes for that one video seems a little bit odd. Seems like maybe they would have hit her on other things. But they're clearly going after her for anti-Semitism, right? That's what they're claiming. They're saying that she's an anti-Semite. And by the way, I want to point out that that is coming from the right. That is not the left that is censoring her. That pressure is mostly coming from the right. There's a lot of left-wing desire to censor and curb anti-Semitism, what they're calling anti-Semitism. But that is more something that sentiment is shared more on the right than I think on the left. But Candace Owens is the latest in the slaughterhouse that is YouTube. If you guys remember, we had a guest on the show on Friday who had been also censored from YouTube. He recently, just the last couple of weeks, received a couple of strikes from YouTube, so he's not allowed to post or he's not allowed to stream. And the videos that they were going after him for were from 7 years ago. So what YouTube is doing is they're scouring your pages. They're looking through all of the content that you've ever posted. And even if when you posted it, it didn't violate community guidelines, if it violates their ever-evolving community guidelines today, and you posted it 7 years ago, but it's still on your channel, they will dock you for that. They will actually hit you for that and give your channel a strike, which is really scary. I think this has really made me reconsider keeping all of my videos on YouTube. I think I'm going to have to go back this weekend or this next week when the show is on vacation, and I'm going to have to scrub my YouTube channel because I don't want them to go back in time and say, well, Kim, you said this one thing and we don't allow that anymore. We just, at the time, you weren't breaking our guidelines, but we don't allow it anymore. And suddenly I'm demonetized from YouTube.
Well, doesn't that come as a surprise? And some of you probably wouldn't pay much attention to that, even some of you conservatives. And most of you would probably say, oh, well, yeah, that's true. The whole Republican Party's bad, and all the Democrats are bad, but Trump's good. You know, and Sean Hannity, he backs Trump, so he's good. Well, Sean Hannity's the #1 guy for capitalism and Israel and more of this wonderful world we live in where the suffering and murder and death and war and little rocket man ready to strike. We've been going through this back and forth for years. Don't worry, we'll lower your taxes. But we're not going to get rid of the Democrats, right? And if they want to whack off their wee-wees, well, look, we fought the battle. We lost, guys. Come on. Give it up. Let me have your children. But look, here we'll compromise. We'll just whack half of it off. That's what you want, really. You see, maybe something's going to have to happen to this world because you guys are too stupid to realize that you're miserable and pitiful. And this wicked world's got to go. So if you keep clinging and hanging on, I mean, maybe that's what the elite are doing. They're giving you both sides, showing you the obviousness of the stupidity of that kind of liberalism, and then switch it over to this side and more war and more military, more fracking. I know a lot of you are like, well, we've got to have cars, Dave. We're going to starve to death. What are you going to do? Shut down all the oil and all the electrical things and I don't see anybody throwing their phones away. Where are we going to get the energy to charge our phones? Well, I don't know. But I don't believe that this system of greed, and make no mistake that if we didn't have any more oil, it wouldn't ruin the economy unless they wanted it to. We could stop doing the oil tomorrow, and the solar companies would start producing solar panels cheaper. And we'd all put solar panels in at our house that wouldn't be run back into the electric company that we could literally have on our property. And we wouldn't have to rape and pillage the earth. It really would be that simple. And since we're already here, I mean, look, I agree. I think a lot of this global warming stuff, most of it is fake. And they're using it to frighten us. And then they're going to have these big tragedies and blame it on that or something, or solar flares. I don't believe in any of it. But at the same time, why are we opposed to green energy? Why don't we actually do it right? Why doesn't the Republican say, you know, you're right. We're getting along as we are. And yeah, we want our vehicles. We want to be able to go out four-wheeling, and we want to be able to drive and travel and do all these things. So we've got to have our jets. But if you think about whether or not we really need to fly over to France in a day or two and spend the night in a lush hotel, Trump hotel, with satin sheets, whether that's really that important or not, I think no. Yeah, if you stopped all that, you'd ruin the economy. Well, that's BlackRock for you. They'd be gone. But if the government wanted to, they could issue a currency that wasn't run by the whoremongers that are trying to control our thoughts and all the advertising and all the crap. They could get rid of all of that, including the stuff that's bad. Yeah, we'd go back into a world where we had to use solar panels and maybe we could still have our phones, maybe. But we wouldn't be running porn in the background for all the little children night and day. Maybe we could come up with things like, do you ever hear anybody say, hey, we should stop that because there ain't a man on this earth left that would want that to be gone? Right? They like the movies. They like the fantasies. And they don't really care what you do in your bedroom. Nobody really cares. But we've got to have the pretense. We've got to have law and order. So we've got to always make it look like we're fighting for righteousness. But what we're really doing is we're just playing ping pong. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. Left and right, left and right. Socialist, communist. It's just nonsense. Here we are. Raping and pillaging the earth. And if you think that's a good thing, oh, I'm sorry. You're deceived. No, I don't think we have to collapse the world with a fake pandemic. No, this is all the evil. And one side says you did it, and the other side, no, you did it. But nothing ever gets done. It's all fake, friends. It's all fake. And I don't even know if Candace Owens wasn't set up to do this. And I'm sure she's very sincere. And for that, Candace, I love you because of the words you spoke. And I hope that your words are a catalyst that will rock the world and we'll all stand up, because I, for one, am tired of these elite Bavarians telling me what I can say and what I can't. Now, I'm sure there's another group of elite Bavarians that are right there beside me. You know, they agree, right? But neither one of these elites will sit at the table and straighten this out, because neither one of them really want to straighten anything out. And I get that. And I don't think they want Kanye or Candace to say too much more. I think they might, though, have set them up to say these things so that the children, if they really, I mean, think about it. We're talking about Kanye West. I guess he's like the most important, powerful role model for much of the world as we've ever seen. It'd be like if Clint Eastwood back in the 70s came out and said, I think we should all serve the Lord. It would have a big effect. That's why you didn't see that very much. Yeah, you see Jim Carrey saying, oh, all is Zen, but they don't mind that too much. But you hardly ever see anybody coming out with the kind of words that Candace just said. So, I'm not that surprised, because, remember disclosure? My only problem is I can't see where Candace's words are going anywhere but truth. Like, that's going to wake a lot of people up. When we finally get the right to say, we don't like you. We don't want you. And yeah, maybe you're a tyrant. Maybe you say you are, but you're not. Maybe you are the devil. I don't know. So, regardless of whether they set you up, Candace, to say this, whether they wanted you to say it or not, I appreciate what you said. And I'm proud of you. And you're the #1 person now in the world with a voice. Please be careful, my dear, of who you trust and the people that are telling you what you ought to do and what you should. Follow your gut, but be careful. Don't do no kamikaze on us. We need you. I want to see you remain on Rumble. I know they'll never let you go back to YouTube or be monetized. They're not going to let me be monetized either. You know, it's just a big charade. They canceled us. But you've got a bigger voice, and I want you to use it to the best of your ability. And with my little voice over here, I'm going to say, like a little cheerleader. Yay, 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 Candace Owens, go, go, go. And I'm going to ask you, the public, a favor. And do it for Candace, but more importantly, do it for yourselves. You've got an opening. The door is a crack. You know, get your foot in the door now, okay? Everybody, as far as my words can hear, which isn't very far, maybe you can share this video with others, but as far as the ears there are to hear, now's our moment. Rush the door. There's more of us than there are them. If we all charge them at once, if we all run out in front and say, no more. We're not putting up with it anymore. And stand our ground, who knows what we might be able to do. Although, if you look at Revelation chapter 11, the two witnesses will preach in sackcloth for 1,260 days. And they will torment the elite. But at some point, the elite will kill them. And the world will celebrate like it's Christmas. Yay! The two witnesses are dead. And dance on their carcasses. That's what the Bible says. So, I hope that's not the fate of the Ninevites or the many or the Gentiles. But perhaps it's talking about the city of Jerusalem. Or the old world city of Jerusalem that is in bondage with her children. A city in Arabia. A mountain called Sinai. Well, I leave you with this.
But hey, we're on Rumble. I can do whatever I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh. For now, trust me, the ADL's watching right now. They're like, we're coming for her. We're coming for her real soon. But I'm telling you, you can't get rid of me. I'm just like, I'm having fun. I'm feeling like Neo from the Matrix. You can't stop me. My followers are coming with me. We're like gang. They can't stop us. Anyways, you guys, thanks so much for supporting the show. For all of you guys that joined Locals after I got banned from YouTube, it was an explosion of people supporting the show financially. And that is the reason why I don't have to worry when YouTube says, well, we're going to crush you. We're going to take your money. Rabbi Shmuley, we'll take all your money. We'll bankrupt you, Candace Owens. You guys are losers. And I say truly and honestly, you are losers. You cannot beat me in a free market. You can't. So you try to manipulate the markets by getting me off of the thing. My show's been bigger than ever before. You're like, we canceled you. We wrote so many articles. Bah! Barry Weiss. Bah! The free press. And it hasn't worked because everyone thinks you're losers. You're neocons. No one cares. We know you're lying. And so the best you've got now is a form of financial terrorism. Well, guess what? Now I belong to the people. What are you going to do now? I'm publicly traded now, and not with you guys, with people who actually want to know the truth, who want to talk about these topics, who want to talk about Tower 7, who want to talk about who want to talk about whether or not it is plausible, and it is, that our government is intentionally making us sick and intentionally making us stupid. And you guys are a part of that. You're a part of gang government. Okay, cool. You want the population to be stupid. You want to call everybody a name once they get onto one of your scents. For fear of that, you're going to be embarrassed if you don't get in line. You can cull our behavior. You can modify our behavior via the madness of crowds philosophy. Oh, well, everybody's doing the dumb thing, so everybody should just follow along. We're not doing that anymore. We're waking up, and we're doing it with a smile on our face, a smile plastered on our face. That's all I'm going to say, guys. We are winning. They are fearful, and that's exactly what we want them to be. They are getting desperate because they feel powerless. They can feel their power waning. And that's exactly where we want them to be, because it is the beginning of the end.
Oh, Candace, that was as well-spoken as anything I've ever heard. And we're with you. Now, who out there is with Candace? If you're with Candace, then we've got to help the world to get on board with Candace. Because I'm telling you, I don't know of anybody else that you could get on board with. I wouldn't trust the ACLU. I would not trust Black Lives Matter. I would not trust the Republican Party. I wouldn't trust Fox News. I wouldn't trust Glenn Beck with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't trust Tucker Carlson because his dad was CIA, and I believe he is too. And I know he is. I wouldn't trust this disclosure and the alien and the federal galactic draconian government that's landing on the earth and being photographed as little serpentine little green men. Oh, I know there were so many stories about the abductions, but it's all crap. But what I would do, if I saw a light in the distance that wasn't the usual glitter, something that we could uplift and support because we know that it's true, it may be the one thing that if we got behind it, we could actually win and get the message of the gospel to the children, which is, who are those trying to deceive us and why? So let's back Candace. Let's make her a star. And if they try to take her off of Rumble 2 and whatever other, you know, hopefully they couldn't possibly find it in their heart to take her off of X or something like that. She'll have some kind of platform. And if they try to take her down completely, I think then that's when the world will say, what? Something's going on here. Candace didn't do anything wrong, right? She didn't lie about anything. She told the truth. And this is what you're doing? I think she'll win, and I think in the process we'll all win. I'm going to go ahead and go. And I really hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Get this out to Candace if you can, and get this to everybody that you know. Let's back her. Let's take this all the way, friends. Have a good one. May the Lord bless y'all. We'll see you tomorrow.